Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday, and excited to get started in Pac-12 play this week. Really kind of got right to it yesterday afternoon. Started watching a lot of Cal, and finished up with our team last night. We wound up having good meetings where we covered games. The last game started on Cal, and then also went on the field for a little bit. So a couple game balls from the game. Jaden Delora, Dorian Singer, Michael Wiley, Jonah Coleman, Jerry Roberts, Hunter Eccles, and then Tanner McLaughlin was our Wildcat of the week. So those guys all deserve it. Really good job collectively making plays. And also Keon Bars. Keon Bars got a game ball as well. So, but I would say the game was a good football game. Rewatching it, not much change from my opinion of Saturday night. And now it's time to get on to Pac-12 play.
Dorian said after the game he felt like there was a lot of cheap shots from North Dakota State. Did you feel that way after looking back on the film?
Yeah, I didn't see much of that. I think that, but you can't really tell what goes on in the scrum. You can't really tell what goes on the field. If Dorian said it, I'm sure Dorian felt it. But it's hard to see from my perspective exactly when you're watching the film what that really looks like.
You had the one penalty you were called for was a legal low block, I guess, on defense, and then you were called a second time, but it was waved off. What did you see on that? How is that a penalty? What?
Well, it's a new penalty as of 2022. You can't cut outside the tackle box. So that's a new rule that came into effect this year. And they made that rule for safety of players. So both offensively and defensively now, you can't cut. You used to be able to do that defensively, even more so up until this year, where you can protect yourself. And if a guy was coming at you in space, you could do that. But that rule's changed this year. And I think both Jacob and C-Row were playing off of last year's rule on that.
You mentioned Keon. He doesn't have exact yet, but he does have, I think, second on the team in TFL. He was most noticeable, I think, in this last game. Out of the first three that he played, how have you seen his progression coming back from that foot?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think that each week we're going to hopefully see him become more noticeable as his rehabilitation has gotten to the point that he's pretty healthy at this point in time. He missed a lot of training camp time. We were very limited in his reps as he was coming back from the surgery. He's feeling more and more comfortable. His weight's where he wants it to be. He's full go on the field at practice. And now it's our responsibility just to monitor his reps in practice to make sure that we're able to give him the best opportunity on Saturdays.
What designates a player to become the Wildcat of the week, and how has Tanner fit that mold?
Yeah, so what we've decided to do is when we determine the Wildcat of the week, it's doing things right on and off the field. It's making an impact in our program in many different ways. For him, this past game, he's shown that every time he hits the practice field, he takes as many reps as we've ever asked. He's never been late to a thing. He's never showed up late on any list in academics. He's always demonstrated an ability to go out and help in the community when we've had community service events. And when he went out there this past game, he also produced as a player. So Mike Wiley won that award week 1, and now Tanner week 3.
You guys call him T-Mac too?
What's
You
that?
guys call him T-Mac too?
No, we don't. There's only one of those.
How did you guys find him? How did he end up at Arizona?
That's a Coach Pow find right there. That he ended up, I think he knew somebody, either that knew Tanner or someone that coached Tanner in the past. And when Tanner became available, we were able, would you be willing to bring on a walk-on tight end that's coming off of an ACL surgery that didn't play for a year but has good film and is a really good kid? And that's kind of what was the initial conversation when it got brought to me. And then as he showed up, it was a lot more than that. So we were pretty fortunate sometimes.
Your defense got those 2 stops in the fourth quarter. What does that do for the defense as a whole in terms of their confidence and their mindset, and they're able to shut them out late in the game?
Yeah, well, I mean, those 2 stops were the difference in the game and the outcome of the game. 3rd and 2, 4th and 2. on the 23-yard line. Now, obviously, we had to respond by scoring in that situation as well, being down 4. But defensively, the fact that they were able to get that done gave them a load of confidence. So when they went back out there, there was really no doubt in their mind that they were going to get the stop. Coach Nansen grabbed the troops. The whole defensive staff was on top of it. Coach Walker, Coach Kafusi, and Coach Nansen and Coach Hunley down on the field. I heard Coach Hunley say, guys, one stop wins this game. One stop wins this game. And, after our score. So our defense went out there, and then the players started repeating that same mantra. And it was a pretty quick 3-and-out, really, at that moment. And they punted, and then we didn't have to give them the ball back.
Can I follow up on that? Can you talk about the adjustments that Johnny Hansen made at halftime as the game went along?
Well, we just felt we had to play a little more zone coverages so they couldn't wheel anyone out the backfield. You're so committed to trying to stop the run that you start adding more and more players. I mean, there's pictures of 21 out of 22 players in the tight end zone copy of a film. You're not normally going to see that. So when that's the case, you're playing man-to-man coverage. When that happens, they were able to slip out 2 different times to be able to have explosive plays. So you just have to be able to mix in some zone. And if you mix in some zone, then as they slip out, they're covered, which is what can cause a sack or a negative play. There was a time Jackson Turner was standing right there when the quarterback looked to throw a wheel route, and it cost them a sack.
Johnny came into the season really hoping to have a robust rotation up front. It really hasn't materialized that much the last couple games. Do you think that's circumstantial? Do you think it's Savea's injury? What do you think?
Well, it's certainly Savea's injury for 2 of the weeks because we were short a player, so we couldn't really rotate. I don't envision that being the case this week. I think that he was a game-time decision last week. I thought he was going to play. We felt that it was the best interest to hold him out, which, of course, eliminates, his substitution pattern there. I would say that on the edges, you're talking about, Deuce Davis, you're talking about Deuce Lane. These are 2 freshmen. So we probably not put them in as much in the tight game based upon the circumstances. Those guys are pass rushers. And then I think you'll start seeing more of a rotation now, the more comfortable these guys get. But as we're rotating guys, we're talking about continuing to rotate true freshmen. Jacob Kangaika, Ty, Deuce, the other Deuce. So as you're taking guys off the field, you're putting true freshmen on it.
You obviously did trust Manu enough to put him in a prominent role. When you watched the film, what did you think of his performance?
Thought he did a good job. He's a very instinctive player. He made, the cool part about him is that he made a tackle on kickoff. He made a tackle on punt. He made a tackle on defense, a few tackles on defense, obviously. He was around the ball. He's crafty. He can kind of feel the game, and he's a football player. He's a pretty instinctual kid.
Can you talk about the leadership that Hunter Echols has brought to that defensive line, because he's been able to get in the backfield a couple times this year already?
Yeah, Hunter brings about veteran experience on a young team. So as we're building this program up, it's nice to have some guys that have done it at different places, guys that have graduated already. Hunter's a grad transfer from SC. So he's able to kind of keep the guys in check at some opportunities, and also motivate them in others. He also can help them gain confidence. I've seen guys do this. I've seen guys like you do it. I trust you. I believe in you. And when you have those conversations, the players will respond, and they've responded well to Hunter. They've responded well to Christian Young and Jackson Turner and Ciro, who have been here for a while too, that are great leaders on our team, and as is Jerry and Keon been. Our defense is probably filled with some good veteran leadership.
Jim, can you talk about your deficiency in the red zone? There's one play David Kelly wanted me to ask you about where you had the tight end set up in the slot. Couldn't tell how many down linemen you had. Where'd that play come from?
We've been good on the red zone so far. We're 10 out of 11, I believe, down in the red area. The one we didn't score on was the 4th and 7 that we had to go for it against Mississippi State. We could have kicked a field goal, I guess, to be 11 out of 11, but that's not going to help us win the game. So I'm excited that the way the guys have prided themselves in the red area and continue to want to score touchdowns. The play that you're referring to is when we flex the tackles out. That was just a play we've run before to try to spread their defense out a little bit and hit Tanner over the middle, which we did.
You added a little bit of RPO action to some of the run game, holding the mesh point or whatever. What is the purpose of that, and did it achieve what you were hoping?
Well, we ran the ball well. Not really an RPO team, but we're able to use the quarterback in the running game, and so I think he does a good job of ball handling. That he's a creative kid. So he does all sorts of things with the back there with the ball handling, and enables him to throw some bubbles, and enables him to throw some slants, and enables him to pull the ball. And his creativity is what allowed us to, kind of mix and match the run and pass this week.
On the 4th and 1, the pass to Cowling, did Jaden audible?
Yeah.
So how does that work? Are those built into certain plays? Does he have the freedom to do that at any time?
Yeah, Jaden has the ability when he sees certain looks to get to certain plays out of certain formations, right? There's a lot of things that there's criteria involved based upon the fact that, plays are married to formations in a lot of ways. So he felt that he liked the look to be able to, let's call it, bring two guys in on slants or on aero concepts to be able to open up the bubble for Jacob. And he made that audible and made a great throw, and Jacob made a great catch.
Jack, what was your reaction to the news about ASU and Herman parting ways?
Honestly, I've been focused solely on Cal. When I saw the news, coaches don't ever like, to hear the F word. Right? It's not fun for anybody, for guys to lose their jobs. There's families involved. There's other staff involved. There's other many things involved when it comes to that type of stuff. So it's never really a good day in the coaching profession when that occurs. And that was my thoughts on it. Okay, thank you.